If you run a diesel out of fuel, I'll show you how to bleed the air out and get it started again. In this case, there was a blockage in the fuel system. Whether you run it out of fuel or you have a fuel blockage, the process is the same. In my case, I've got dirt in the tank, so I'm gonna drain out all the fuel and clean it first. You can just see all that dirt in the bottom. Now that it's clean, we'll cap everything back up, close it up so it won't flow out. It's still open, so it'll flow into the filter. It's very important that you've got enough fuel in the tank that it'll flow from the fuel into the top of the fuel filter. If the tank is too low of fuel, it'll never flow into the top and get the air out. We'll fill up the fuel tank. There should be enough fuel in there to get all the air out. To verify this, loosen up the bolt on the fuel filter. Crack the bolt loose and just see if it flows out the top. Here you can see all the fuel is coming out. Make sure that all the air is out. If I look at the measure stick from the bottom of the tank, you can see there's barely enough fuel to do this. When the air is out of the fuel filter, tighten it up. Now the air needs to be removed from the fuel pump. Open up the bleeder. You can watch the air start coming out. When you see just fuel coming out, you know you got the air out. Then close up the bleeder. We'll pump up the engine a little bit and then get the injector. Remove the air filter, add some starting fluid, give the engine a crank. Look for smoke in the exhaust. There we go. We're getting there. This built pressure on the injectors, so go ahead and break those loose and let it flow through. This built up pressure on the injectors, so open them up and let all the air out. You can see it just hissing. This is a 3-cylinder, so do all 3 injectors. Starting fluid really helps with the process. I've done it plenty of times without, but it's so much easier with it. You may have to bleed out the injectors a few times. We'll give it a crank. There we go. That's how you restart a diesel if you run out of fuel.